both of you get arrested, both of you get charged, and when the feds finally got involved and all the charges started to really solidify, what was everything you were charged with at that time?
Let's see. There was conspiracy to counterfeit U.S. obligations, manufacture and sale of counterfeit U.S. obligations, and what was it? I think maybe it was 2 counts, a count of manufacturing, a count of possession and sale or something, and then like a couple different counts of uttering counterfeit U.S. obligations.
Got it. Okay. And initially, were you looking at 3 years or were you looking at more in the very beginning?
It was roughly 3 years. So like the feds go by your criminal history and like, there's a bunch of different factors. There's like a graph that kind of calculate, your sentencing guidelines. But also there's enhancements as far as how much money they find. So that was kind of, like at the time I took my plea agreement, there was about $400,000 found. And I knew I had made more than that. So I knew the longer, I wouldn't take this to trial because they pretty much caught me red-handed. But that was kind of their deal they gave me was, if you plead guilty today, we won't charge your wife and we'll keep the restitution amount under $100,000, which avoids an enhancement. Because there's an enhancement at 100,000 and then an enhancement at 1 million. So basically, yeah, avoiding that enhancement at $100,000 drops it down a little bit. And they wanted me to, cooperate as far as teaching them or telling them how I was able to make the bills so well and make a training video for the Secret Service explaining it, which would give me an even more reduced sentence.
Right, because when the feds got involved, the U.S. Secret Service and everything, they said that the bills that they found that you were making were the highest quality counterfeits they'd seen in over 25 years.
Yeah, that's what the Secret Service said.
Okay, and along the way, did you come in contact with other counterfeit bills and kind of compared yours to theirs and saw the difference in quality?
Not really. I mean, I've come across a couple, probably a handful of counterfeit bills in my life. Most counterfeiters are pretty secretive. If you're making anything of any kind of quality, you don't want anyone to know that they're coming from you, obviously. So I never really, anybody that would offer the information that they were counterfeiting and would want to compare notes with me, like I probably wouldn't take serious anyway, you know what I mean? Because I was very secretive. Not a lot of people knew what I was doing. And, the ones that did know kind of knew that I just had them or could sell them. I'd always when I was going back to my hotel room or house where I had the printers and everything set up, I'd make a U-turn, pass it, make a U-turn, make another U-turn, make sure no one was following me, all this kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I've never seen any counterfeit bills on the streets that compared to mine by far. Most people kind of knew, the ones that did know what I was doing knew me as being that guy.
Okay. And the Secret Service was so impressed with these bills that you were making, they actually flew a film crew to Knoxville Secret Service headquarters and actually filmed you going through the whole process of making these bills and assembling them and so forth?
Yeah. So basically, they let me out on pretrial release. And then I did file the change of plea. I pled guilty according to this deal. So while I was out waiting sentencing, they basically flew a film crew, I'm not sure who the people's names or anything, but some high ups at the Secret Service. I met them downtown at the federal building in downtown Knoxville. And they had all the evidence they seized from the hotel room set up. And so everything was ready to go basically, because I was literally in the process of printing 6,000 the time I was arrested. So yeah, basically they just had everything and a film crew there, sound guys mic'd me up, did all the lights, and I just explained everything. and made some counterfeit, like 2 counterfeit $100 bills on camera for the Secret Service.
Okay, so because you cooperated by showing them how you did everything, your sentence was reduced from 3 years to only 10 months.
Yeah. It was a range of 10 to 16 months, but they gave me the low end of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and they put you in a very low security prison for those 10 months.
Yeah, it was a low in the feds.